Hello. So all the audio got corrupted yesterday from the PS5 Pro unboxing, and I didn't know about it. So I'm just going to sort of talk over the unboxing video with voiceover, and I'll go over the script I had and my thoughts on it and why I changed my mind and why I bought the PS5 Pro. So initially, I started talking about the PS4 Pro and the Xbox One X, and how it kind of reminds me of the Sega CD and the 32X, but those are add-ons, not separate console revisions. So the PS4 and the Xbox One came out in 2013. This is a few years before 4K TVs, took over, and people's homes started to get 4K TVs a few years later. So in 2016, Sony introduced the PS4 Slim, which lowered the launch price from $400 to $300, and the PS4 Pro, which was like a higher end, more powerful version of the PS4, released at the original $400 price point. So as we know now, about 26% of all PS4 sales were PS4 Pros. So PS4 Pro basically brought 4K to the console generation. The same time, Microsoft released the Xbox One S, a smaller version of the Xbox One, like any console slim revision. But it actually had some newer features. Nothing game breaking, but it did have some new features. So although it couldn't play games in 4K, it could output in 4K. So this meant it could play movies and 4K Blu-ray discs. So it had a Blu-ray drive upgrade as well. So that was one thing. But it still played games at 1080p, and it was basically just a cheaper version of the Xbox One. Now, in 2017, though, Microsoft came out with the Xbox One X, which is like their version of the PS5 Pro or PS4 Pro, but it was much more powerful than the original, or much more powerful than even the PS4 Pro. So, that was like the most powerful console at the time, and they even marketed it that way. But it cost another $500. It was $500 to the $400, so it was more expensive than the PS4 Pro. But for multi-platform games, that was the best way to play, your console games. But yeah, the Xbox One X actually had 4 gigabytes more of RAM than the Xbox One, which is more than the the Xbox One S. It had a faster CPU, more compute units, higher memory bandwidth, more teraflops. I don't understand what a teraflop is. I'm pretty technical, but I don't even know what a teraflop is. But the PS4 Pro was more popular just because the PS4 is more popular. But yeah, it had much more RAM than the PS4 Pro. It had more power than the PS4 Pro. But now, in 2020, when the series consoles and the PS5 came out, all the consoles were capable of doing 4K 120 FPS. So that's why when I started hearing PS5 Pro rumors, I didn't really believe them, because I didn't think there'd really be a reason to need a PS5 Pro. But this was during the time where I wasn't really playing my PS5 very much. I was only really playing Gran Turismo and one or two other games. I wasn't really using the console very much just because, I didn't feel the need to. But some of the games were not really able to hit that 4K 60 even, performance. So, I still didn't think it would be a big enough deal that they would do it. But two things changed my mind. Well, one of them kind of convinced me, and then the other one was definitive. So I didn't start believing it until we saw that 30th anniversary artwork Sony released. And, this was an artwork that showed every single console and every single revision of every console they ever made as part of this artwork. And it showed this what appeared to be PS5 Slim with extra slats on it. And I was like, okay, well, this is sort of matching with the Pro concept, so maybe this is legit. And then the next day, Sony announced a technical presentation. And, as soon as I heard that, I knew that it was a PS5 Pro. Sony knew that, and they, said it 5 seconds into the presentation. But the presentation itself was sort of a failure, because, in my opinion, it did a very bad job of explaining what the PS5 Pro was and showing off its capability. So for this reason, I made that initial video saying I didn't like the PS5 Pro and I wasn't going to buy one. But, that was sort of the thing. I don't think I was wrong to make that video based on the information I had, but it was sort of unfair for me to make that video because we didn't have very much information. All we had was just yeah, here it is, and then here's 8 minutes of it, and there's only like 5 minutes of it was actually the PS5 Pro. So I think that was a very bad, I didn't think that through. I was just sort of buying into the, let's bag on Sony, but I own that. That's my bad. But there's two things that made me change my mind from that initial thought to this. First was the 30th anniversary consoles. Now, as you can see in the video, I didn't get a 30th anniversary PS5 Pro, but that got me open to the idea of buying a PS5 Pro, because at the same time, we started seeing actual reviewers that weren't seen it get their hands on the PS5 Pro, and this is where I started hearing that it was different and that you could definitely see the difference if you had a good TV. So I have a good TV. I decided to bite the bullet because, well, I am someone that cares about details and whatnot, and performance and frame rates. And I have the TV to view it on, and in my opinion, I thought this was going to be something that can make a difference, especially since I'm playing console more than I'm playing PC now. But, yeah, I wanted to say that before I actually did the unboxing part of it, I had also this list of prerequisites that I thought, even before I touched it. And now that I have touched it, I think this applies as well. But I'll play my video ending parts. That does have audio. But I came up with a list of 3 things that you need in order to justify a PS5 Pro purchase. You need to have decent disposable income that you can spend on a luxury purchase, more so than the regular PS5. Have a 4K 120Hz TV or an 8K TV, or at the very minimum, a decent regular 4K 60Hz TV. And you have to care a lot about details or high frame rates, and you don't want to go to PC, which I get. I've been on PC and I like PC, but there's a reason that I bought this, and that's just sometimes it's nice to sit back. So you may care about all that, but you don't want to go PC. And as I said also as well, I think the Pro name is very fitting for this product because it reminds me of how Apple uses the word Pro. Now, I talk more about Apple on my second channel, which I need to upload more, or my tech channel, sorry, which I need to upload more on. But Apple has always a regular product that does 90% or 95% of what everyone expects the phone to do. So it's got a good screen, it's got a good camera, it's got most of the features. And that's the one most people buy. And then there's the Pro models, which have, a slightly better camera, a slightly, better processor that's not that much better, a few more features that only certain people care about. And I think, 90% of the people will buy the regular, well, I think more like 70% of people will buy the regular iPhone. That's the one they tend to include with deals. But the regular iPhone 16 is meant for most people, and the Pro is meant for people that want those extra features or they need those extra features. So, yeah, and I feel like they have the iPad Air and the regular and the iPad Pro, and then the MacBook Air and the MacBook Pro, and I feel like this is what Sony is sort of doing with the PS5 Pro. Because when you go to that Pro level, you're only getting that last 5%, but that last 5% is costing you like 20 or 30% more. So the value proposition goes down. Even though there's more features, it's not as good as the value as the base phone. And I feel like this is the same case with the PS5 Pro, where the best value is the regular PS5, and the PS5 Pro has more features, but it's not as good as a value proposition compared to the regular PS5. Now, it's a good value proposition compared to a PC that would perform similarly, but it's not as good of a value as the PS5 regular, or PS5 Slim now. So as you can see in this video, I have the disk drive and the vertical stand. So as you can see when we unbox it, we have on top, we have our cables and our controller. I was comparing it to the original model controller since I have a launch PS5, so that was the launch controller. And I think they have some internal revisions, but nothing is really different about it. And we have a C-to-C cable because now, as like the Slim, the Pro does not have any USB-A ports on the front. It's all USB-C. And then I took out the console. There it was with no disk drive attached, and I compared it to the original PlayStation 5. And then, well, no, I put the disk drive on, which I could, as I show you here, it's pretty easy. You just rip off the top, literally just plop in the disk drive and put the disk drive cover back onto it. And then I showed me attaching the vertical stand, which took a little bit longer than expected, but I think that was just because I was a little bit worried about breaking something. So yeah, not much else in the console itself. It was pretty, you know, I feel like this could, you know, feel a little bit more special. There could have been a poster or whatnot in it, but there just wasn't. And I have some B-roll here. I got my friend Slim, and I compared it to the original PlayStation 5 as well. So here's all three consoles with the disc drive attached. And, you know, this is the comparison. So this is where I have some video of me setting up the console. I lost the audio for this as well. And actually, just real quick, before I go back to it, I want to say that even though the stand is ridiculously priced, I do think that it's sort of a decent quality, and I do like the way it looks, especially when you don't have the disc drive. But yeah, I do think the stand is good quality. So here's some of the video I have of it being set up. You know, I heard it had a special startup, and that's not true. It just has the regular PS5 startup, first time startup, which I think is still good, but you know, I kind of was hoping to have the Xbox One X type startup, you know, but yeah. And then I just did the system transfer. I immediately recognized the disc drive as soon as I put it on the console. I didn't have to like activate it first because it doesn't come with that. The disc drive's only available as an add-on. So yeah, that is that. I did my system transfer, although it transferred my settings, but it didn't transfer my save, or it didn't transfer my games, but my saves did transfer, so, you know, everything was good. I just had to re-download it from the internet, but yeah, that's about all I have. And now I'm going to go to the part I just filmed now where I'm talking about my experience one day later and what I thought about it. No gameplay, just what I thought. Alright, so it's been about a day. I've been messing with it for a bit. Not really going to show gameplay yet. I have to, you know, get the proper capture stuff done. I haven't really had time to do that yet. So this is more just my quick analysis. Not real. If it wasn't the PS5 Pro, this would be a second channel video, but it's too big of a topic to do on the second channel. So what do I think so far? Well, I have to say I think there's a difference, but it's not like super clear. It's very much depends on who you are. So I've played a few games on there now. Two of which are PS5 Pro enhanced, and one of them is just not. So I played GT7, which is getting the patch, but it's not there yet. So when the patch comes in, I'll definitely be playing that a lot. It's one of the reasons I wanted a PS5 Pro, truthfully. It's actually, GT7 is one of the reasons I wanted a PS5. And when it didn't launch for 2 years, that kind of pissed me off. But anyway, GT7, it didn't look any better, but I've heard that it's been running smoother on PS5 Pro even without the patch, so days away. I'm gonna have to say I didn't notice anything different, like super different, but it's possible. But you know, GT7, fine. But the two games I have played that are PS5 Pro enhanced are Horizon Zero Dawn Remaster and Hogwarts Legacy. So for Hogwarts Legacy, I had both the regular PS5 and the PS5 Pro on balanced mode, and I don't think graphics-wise there was too much of a difference. I think some of the clothes had a little bit more detail on PS5 Pro, but nothing big. But what I did notice was that on balanced mode, it felt a lot smoother. Like I felt like maybe it was running on 40 FPS on regular PS5, but on PS5 Pro, I actually think it got up to 120 on some indoor scenes. So maybe it's running about 60 FPS on regular PS5, but it was I definitely felt it had a higher frame rate on PS5 Pro. And Horizon Zero Dawn, I haven't remastered. I haven't played on the regular PS5 yet, but what I have to say is on PS5 Pro balance mode, the game looks amazing. I have never seen a better looking game than that. Now, I'm going to do some more analysis and play it on regular PS5 because maybe it's just the game is that good and it looks good on both. But from what I have seen, what I've heard from other people, it does look really good on PS5 Pro, better than it does on PS5. And at the very minimum, it plays a lot smoother. I've been playing on balance mode because I don't think it looks that much better than the resolution mode. And I just felt like it's been the best. So yeah, I've been playing on balance mode. I've been getting a solid 60 FPS with it. And yeah, so in a month from now, literally about exactly a month, we will have the review, the proper review with footage and more numbers and whatnot. I'm going to try not to make it super technical. I'm going to try to make it more about the games and whatnot, since this is not the tech channel. This is the gaming channel. So this will be, that will be on, much more basic, like not as, I believe numbers based, but won't be as numbers based as if it was like a tech video. But yeah, so please stick around and subscribe for it. I wish I had a little bit more to talk about right now, but I just wanted to mainly do the unboxing and my first impressions. So thank you guys so much for watching. Comment, like, subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.